You said you'd do it last night. You said just 10 more minutes scrolling. You promised yourself that tomorrow would be different, but now it's been weeks, maybe months, and you still haven't started. Let's be honest. How many times have you set goals, made plans, downloaded productivity apps, and still found yourself watching videos like this one instead of doing the work? Here's the truth. You don't need more motivation. You don't need another inspirational quote. You need a better system. This isn't one of those just try harder videos. This is a real breakdown of why you procrastinate and how to finally stop. Not someday, not next week, today, because I've been where you are. The endless cycle of I'll start tomorrow, the shame spirals when tomorrow comes and goes. Watching everyone else seem to have it figured out while you're still stuck, but there's a way out, and it's simpler than you think. First things first, you're not lazy. Your brain is just doing its job, avoiding discomfort. Let me explain what I call the discomfort loop. When you think about that project you've been putting off, what happens? You feel a little anxious, right? Maybe overwhelmed or bored at the thought of it? That tiny negative emotion, that's the trigger. And your brain, which evolved to keep you safe and comfortable, immediately looks for an escape route. So you check your phone, you make coffee, you reorganize your desk, anything to avoid that feeling. It's not the task you're avoiding, it's the emotion connected to it. I used to sit at my laptop for hours, staring at the blinking cursor for a project I knew was important. I'd beat myself up, thinking I just needed more discipline or willpower. But the turning point came when I realized something psychologists have known for years. Procrastination isn't a time management problem, it's an emotion regulation problem. When I started addressing the emotional resistance instead of just trying to power through, everything changed. Your brain isn't broken, it's just untrained. The good news? We can retrain it. Step 1. Shrink the task. Make it stupidly easy. Don't write the paper. Open the document. Write one sentence. Don't clean the house. Pick up 3 things. Don't start a business. Research one specific question. Lower the entry barrier every time. Why this works? There's a concept in physics called activation energy, the initial push needed to start a chemical reaction. In productivity, starting is where most of the resistance lies. Once you begin, momentum builds naturally. When I was writing my book, I didn't set out to write chapters. I told myself, just write one paragraph. That paragraph often turned into pages, but the commitment was tiny. Step 2. Use the 10-minute rule. Tell yourself, I only need to do this for 10 minutes. Set a timer. Commit to stopping after 10 minutes if you want to. This works because your brain buys in when the commitment feels small, but one of 2 things will happen. Either you'll stop after 10 minutes, which is still progress, or more likely, you'll keep going because you've overcome the starting friction. I used this technique when I dreaded editing videos. Just 10 minutes would often turn into an hour of focused work, not because I forced myself, but because starting was the hardest part. Step 3. Separate planning from doing. Most people try to plan and do things at the same time. That's a trap. Set 10 minutes to plan on Monday, then do the action on Tuesday in a focused block. When these modes are mixed, you experience decision fatigue and overwhelm. When separated, each becomes more effective. I schedule planning sessions every Sunday for 30 minutes. I decide what needs to happen, break it down, and schedule specific blocks. Then during the week, I just follow my plan without having to decide anything. Step 4. Make it public. Tiny accountability. Text a friend. I'm working on Procrastination right now. Ask me in 1 hour if I did it. Post your goal somewhere visible. Tell someone who will check in. Join an accountability group. You'll feel the pressure, but in a good way. The psychology here is simple. We're more likely to follow through when we know someone is watching. It taps into our natural desire to be consistent with our public commitments. Step 5. Attach identity. You're not someone trying to be disciplined. You're a person who does what they said they would do. That's who you are now. Every time you follow through, even on something small, say to yourself, this is who I am. I keep my word to myself. Identity-based habits are powerful because they shift from, I want to do this, to, this is who I am. The action becomes part of your self-image. You've waited long enough, you've made excuses long enough, and the future version of you, they're begging you to start, right now. The cost of procrastination isn't just unfinished work, it's the toll it takes on your self-belief. Each time you break a promise to yourself, you reinforce the story that you can't trust yourself. But it can change today, not with some grand transformation, but with one small act of keeping your word to yourself. Here's what I want you to do right after this video. Pick one thing you've been putting off, do it for 10 minutes, then come back and tell me in the comments how it went. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, now. Because you don't need to do it all today, but if you just start, everything can change. The gap between who you are and who you want to be is crossed through consistent small actions, not perfect big ones. I believe in you. Now go prove me right.